Hello, everyone. I'm Sara Raney, and I am a victim. I am the mother of Dr. Kenley Gene Raney, who lost his life to a damn drunk driver, and I will use the word damn because that's exactly what the police officer said to me whenever he knocked at my door. Now, all of us are victims that's listening to my channel in one way or another. And there is one thing that has plagued me for years, and nobody understands or wants to understand, is depression. When I desperately needed compassion, I faced thoughtless comments, misunderstandings. You're senile. You're going crazy. Neighbors who I did not know showed up at my door, just curious, because they wanted to know why there was a police officer at my door early in the morning. Always saying, call us if you need help. And I never have seen them again. This was the start of my life sentence. Losing a child to a drunk driver isn't just a tragedy. It's a shattering of the soul. It's a broken heart. And it's a wound that never truly heals. As the years go by, well, the rest of the world forgets. The rest of the world forgets. But we as victims never forget. And depression hits us whenever we least expect it. And folks, there is no off and on switch to depression, grief, and trauma, and it never ends. I know people have lost their children 30, 40 years ago, and they still get depression and grief. Mother's Day is a horrible day for them. The birthday of their child is a horrible day for them. You know, life just changes. Now, I know that what I'm going to tell you, you all have suffered, and that is that people around you, like I mentioned before, to include the DA, to include everybody you are working with, think we can turn off this depression like a light switch. They want us to think clearly and react as we always did at their command. I know I have a problem remembering what I ate the night before, let alone what someone told me years ago. Because of this, I did request several times in writing that all communications from the DA's office and my civil attorney be written in the form of email, because I was alone, suffering from trauma and shock, and did have a problem remembering. As an intelligent woman in the past, when I didn't have depression, I always put things in writing. But then, what was I saying? Was the truth. And I wanted no misunderstandings with my clients. Folks, if your DA, lawyer, anyone refuses to write something, especially now when the email is so much quicker than a telephone call, they have a reason. Do not trust anyone, especially the DA's office. I highly recommend that you request everything in writing. I'll restate that. I highly recommend that you request everything in writing. In fact, demand it. But if they refuse, as they did with me, record the telephone call. That's easy to do. Just use the voice memo on an old telephone. Or another way is put your phone on a speaker. Use Microsoft 365 Word to record everything in writing. It does a beautiful job. Like I said, I have an old iPhone that I use. Of course, there are many other ways to do it. Depression strikes when you least expect it. It is debilitating. Anything can trigger it. I was feeling down the other day and decided to go out. And I stopped at a coffee shop. As usual, I'm alone. Because this is what this has done to me, put me alone. And I sat down with my cup of coffee and I looked up and oh my God, a man walked by that looks just like my son from behind. Suddenly the tears just streamed down my face. I was crying. People looked at me like I was crazy. And how do you explain that? You don't. I would say that every victim who is listening has had that experience. Uncontrollable tears. It can happen anywhere. Walking through a store or going to a restaurant, any place it can happen. Honestly speaking, it can change you. It can make you into a wild woman. I honestly wanted at Christmas time, the first couple of years, to take my cart and knock every Christmas tree down. But you can't do that. Now, what hurts even more than that are friends and family who seem to not understand how stupid comments hurt. Like those who continuously talk about their grandchildren, knowing that I will never have grandchildren. They feel alone when they have 6 children, 7 grandchildren, and several great-grandchildren who would do anything for them because they do not call them every 2 minutes. This drunk took my chance to have grandchildren. What about me? How thoughtless. What about holidays, especially Mother's Day, which is coming up? They call and tell me who showed up to take them out to dinner and what they bought her and where they went to eat. Again, knowing that you will never get any gifts again for any holiday and will spend every holiday alone. Thoughtless people. Now, they're not doing it on purpose. They're just thoughtless. There are many holidays for others, but not for me again. I go out alone and my friends all have families. They spend time with them and I want them to. I'm usually not invited to parties because I do not have a significant other. Vietnam took my husband. It was just Kenley and I for many years. Of course, I planned on spending the holidays with him. I planned on spending my life with him and Melissa. There is no off and on switch for depression, and you never get over depression. Now, people will throw out words like shock, trauma, depression, but never understand what we are going through. You cannot see the symptoms like other illnesses. And medicine, can make things worse. I was given medicine. One made me put me in La La Land, which made everything worse. I couldn't even remember. I couldn't think before. I couldn't remember before. I just didn't know I couldn't think or remember before when I took the medicine. And another one, oh my gosh. I woke up in the middle of the night and had sparkles in my eyes, scared the living daylights out of me. Be careful of the medicine. You don't want to be drugged. You don't want to get attached to it. Now, this is where the problem comes in. You have the legal DA and everything always opening up wounds. You have them telling you that you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to remember. And there's a problem. What do you do? What do you do? Now, always understand that your child is with you and wants you to be happy. Yes, there will be days, and I've had them, where I just want to go to bed and not wake up. That is normal. But again, you wake up and you must honor your child by living, because that's what they want you to do. They're watching you. They're with you. I know my son is here with me. Never resort to alcohol or drugs, and that includes medicines, to get you through this horrible time. It only makes things worse. If you are one of the lucky mothers or fathers with other children or family members or soulmates, always tell them you love them. I only wish I had someone, but I do not. I am alone, except for a dog, and that is something I must deal with. I realize now that getting a therapist is probably not going to happen for me, which I will explain in my next video. As I say, I must put my big girl pants on and honor my son and stay alive and be happy. Please, please know that this comes from my heart. Your children are watching you. Your loved ones are there with you. They are pushing you on to be happy and to be content. I am Sara Raney, and I am the proud mother of Dr. Kenley Gene Raney, who lost his life in Lubbock, Texas, at a rest area at Shadow Water, where he had stopped and did the right thing, pulled off the road because he was sleepy. Walked his beautiful dog, Marshall. And Dennis Abeta Jr. came flying by, going 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 miles, 110, 120, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, and slammed into my son's parked car as he lay in it. There was nothing left of the car. Marshall, his beautiful furry companion, flew 500 feet. So, folks, no matter what anybody tells you, it is not an accident. It is a crash. He is a murderer and a damn drunk. Please take care of yourself and share your stories with me. Thank you.